Okay, first question, Di, and really it's around the problems that widgets are trying to solve. What is it that they're good for?
Well, there's a number of different levels that you can answer that on, and I think really you have to start with a technical answer, at some way a technical answer. And as far as teachers and learning is concerned, if you think about the services that we traditionally provide for teachers and learners, they're all wrapped up in VLEs, virtual learning environments. In fact, you could say that the virtual learning environment is a way of making services digestible for teachers and learners.
So when you say something like VLE, you mean Moodle or
Blackboard? Yeah, something
or
like Moodle. If you think of Moodle, then it's inside it, it's got a wiki, it's got email, it's got forums, it's got these activities that you have. And one of the things that the VLE does for you is it packages all these up inside one environment and gives them to you so that you can use them easily. And that's been very successful, and that's why VLEs have penetrated everywhere. But that approach to services also creates its problems, because each service has to be built for that particular platform. You don't know, you haven't got any way of moving the services between the platforms. If you're writing on your learning activities on one platform, you want to move them to another, you find there's a different set of services. So you're working with islands of services.
And there are lots of freely available things out there on the web as well at the moment, which
yes,
I maybe want to use, but they're outside of the VLE.
So yes, that's true. And one of the ways of looking at widgets would be to say that a widget is a way of packing up some content and some references to services so that it can be delivered on lots of different platforms, and to overcome your restriction to exactly what it is that the designers of Moodle or Blackboard or whatever have seen fit to include. And it's leveraging widgets are a much wider technology, so that the kind of things that you find on your desktop telling you whether it's, whether you can swim at Bognor Regis this weekend or not, or whether the snow's good, or what the latest cricket results are, these kind of information.
So from a learner's or a teacher's point of view, you're saying there'd be a wider range of things I could do inside of my VLE or Moodle. There may be different resources I could access, but I'd have more choice.
Well, if we rewind a minute, the initial question is about what widgets are and whose problem they solve. And at one level, the problem that they solve technically is how do you deliver content and services to a wide range of platforms. And so they've developed in the world of computing for doing that. So you find them on mobile phones, you find them on desktops, and you find them now. We're leveraging that technology, see what we can do with it inside the virtual learning environments and in other applications we build, to make that delivery and use of activities and services and content more flexible.
Okay, so can you give me some more practical examples, I suppose, things that people would recognise that they might be able to do differently in this new world with widgets than the world they're currently in? So take, for example, somebody who works in a school or a university, uses Moodle VLE, so is familiar with the tools in there, the various things. How might it be different for them, and what could they do that's different for their learners?
Well, if you think of the repertoire of things that you can do in Moodle, you can make one of those repertoire of things that you can do use a widget. Could be one of those things. And then in using a widget, you can choose any one of a very wide range, a potentially extremely wide range of activities and content to be included in your Moodle course. So that means that somebody outside the Moodle course, maybe outside your institution, maybe inside it, can be curating a very wide collection of things that you can use as a teacher. And they can be making it searchable, they can provide a constrained set of ones which they think might be useful for you. In the same way as you might find a collection of lesson plans or a collection of useful resources for this course. So basically what it gives you a much wider potential choice of things that you can include in your course.
So from a teacher's point of view, I don't require any great technical ability. There's no difference in that sense, more than that which I had.
If you're running Moodle, then as you're authoring your course, you put an activity into a course, and you can put a widget into a course in the same way. You say, here I want a widget, and I want this one.
Yeah.
And that could be a service like a voting activity, or it could be some content that somebody's packaged up and you've chosen from as if it were a repository, or it could be a simulation that somebody's thought would be useful, a collection of simulations from a subject centre, topic centre. And
there's something else I want to go on as well. And how does it help as well the potential people working between institutions? There's something there in the workings of a widget.
I think what's interesting is we've had content repositories for a long time, and so if you're working between institutions in the content area, you've got Jorum, you've got all these other repositories where there are collections of materials that you can use to teach a topic, but you don't have the equivalent of runnable things which you can just simply include in your course. So that's really what it offers you. You can have a store of stuff sitting between institutions or inside the institution or any combination that you like, which is available to those people and is available on a range of platforms. So I may be using Moodle in my institution, and my friends in another university may be using Blackboard, and we can create a store of activities, Moodle delivered activities and simulations or whatever, widget delivered activities, which can be consumed in different platforms. And they can actually communicate between the different platforms too. So you could have a forum that is sitting on Moodle here and sitting on Blackboard over there, which is speaking between the two systems.
So two groups of students working together collaboratively, learning, sharing access maybe to a lecture or some of the results.
Yes, that's made possible by the technology. I wouldn't want to say it's happening now, but technically you can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So as you alluded to there, this is a relatively new technology. So I suppose the last question we've got for you, what is its potential? Where might it be going, 5, 10, 15 years from now?
Oh, that's a long time. I mean, we're thinking in terms of 1 or 2 is quite a long time in this scale. I think that what we're working on a couple of projects with widgets at the moment. One of these is iTech, and in iTech we're using widgets to build the equivalent of an education app store, as you might find on an iPhone or Android phone, where the project creates a set of widgets which can be used by teachers in primary, secondary classrooms across Europe. So we're building sets of useful resources, putting them into scenarios which can be consumed in different classrooms on different devices. So I think that's quite a powerful model. If you think that rather than just giving people learning resources which they then bring into their VLE, Moodle or Blackboard or whatever, you give them some way of consuming a scenario, of making use of a scenario in the classroom. And in particular, what we'd look to do would make it possible for them to adapt that scenario as easily as possible. So the widgets give them a way of saying, oh, this scenario is all very well, it's going a bit, but actually I think we need one of these, and draw it into their classroom just as they're thinking it. So the process of authoring is, I access the App Store, I access all these services and simulations or whatever that whoever it is has decided might be useful in this environment. It might be the National Ministry, it might be a Teachers Association, it might be the school. And you're more or less, you know roughly what's on there because you've had a look and say, oh yeah, that was the one, my friend was telling me that one was useful. You just bring it into your class as you're teaching.
Okay, so lots of potential for the future. Well, thanks Di, very interesting. I think we'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.